all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessing to the elect of Israel who's practicing the law of liberty out there. So we're going to continue. Today we're going to continue with our Lost Book series. We're going to get into a group of books that are called the Testament of the Patriarchs, or the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 sons of Jacob, who later became Israel. They each wrote like a last will and tell them a testimony, like when they were on their dying bed. They called all their children, their grandchildren, and it just kind of gave them a brief overview of their life and their pitfalls and things they did wrong and things they did good. Sort of like a last testament, while they were still alive. So they each had a book out there, and this was a part of the Lost. This is part of the Lost Book series. I don't know if a lot of people know about them, but we're gonna start getting into them over the next few videos that I'm gonna do. But this is sort of like an introductory video to it, to the videos that are gonna be following for each one of the tribes or the brothers or the patriarchs. So this video is just gonna be like a brief introductory to it. So when each one of them were on their deathbed, they called all their children and their grandchildren and great-grandchildren about them and proceeded without reservations to lay, bare their experiences for the moral guidance of the hearers, of their family. They each told of their sins and counseled them about what not to do and what to do. And, they also spoke of the virtuous things, and that if you do virtuous things, there will be rewards. So these should be pretty interesting, books to get into. So I'm just giving you a little background on the 12 tribes, and pretty much I know most of you guys are pretty familiar with them. You read about them in the Old Testament and everything, but this is just like a little introductory video. So let's go in the birth order. I think that'd be a good thing to do. The sons of Jacob in their birth order. So the first one is Leah, which is one of Jacob's wives, gave birth to Reuben, the first son, then Simeon, and then Levi, and then Judah. Then Rachel, his other wife, gave Bilhah, her servant, to Jacob, so that she may give birth on her behalf. Bilhah bore Dan and Naphtali. When Leah realized she ceased bearing Jacob's son for a moment, she gave her servant Zilpah to Jacob, and he bore him some sons, Gad and Asher. So we got up to 8 now. After this, Leah again conceived twice and gave birth to Issachar and Zebulun. So that's 10. So Rachel, for a while she couldn't bear children, but the Lord eventually blessed her, and she gave birth to Joseph and Benjamin. And soon after she gave birth to Benjamin, she died. You can read about that in Genesis 30, chapter 30, verse 23. So let's continue. So just to learn a little bit about each one of the brothers, we'll go into the blessings that Jacob gave each one of his sons. I think this is like in Genesis 49, verse 1, something like that, around Genesis 49. So this is when he was about to die. He called all 12 of his sons to his side and tell them what would happen in the days to come. So the first one he talked about was Reuben, whose name means see his son. Jacob says, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the first fruits of my strength, preeminent in dignity, and preeminent in power. Unstable as water, you should not have preeminence, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. He went up to my couch. This account is when Reuben laid with his dad's concubine, Bilhah. You can read about that in Genesis 35. We're going to get more into that when we talk about Reuben and his testament. As a result, his blessings went to Joseph, 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. The second son is Simeon. Simeon sounds like the Hebrew word herd. And Levi. Levi sounds like the Hebrew word attached. Jacob says, Simeon and Levi are brothers, weapons of violence are their swords. Let my soul come not into their counsel, O my glory. Be not joined to their company, for in their anger they kill men, and in their willfulness they hamstrung oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, in their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. The account of this is how Simeon and Levi led the charge of the brothers to kill the man of Shechem after the ruler's sons defiled their sister Dinah. You can read about that, I think, in Genesis 33, Genesis 34. So the next son is Judah. Judah name sounds like the Hebrew word praise. Receive this blessing, Judah. Your brothers shall praise you. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's son shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's cub from the prey. My son, you may have gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion and as a lioness. Who dares rouse him? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until tribute comes to him. And to him shall be the obedience of the people, binding his foal to the vine, and his donkey coat to the choice vine. He has washed his garment in wine, and his vesture in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, his teeth are whiter than milk. Yahushua is called the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The lineage leading to Yahushua goes through Judah. Jacob spoke prophecy in the blessing of Judah. The next one is Zebulun. Zebulun sounds like the Hebrew word honor. Zebulun shall dwell at the shores of the sea. He shall become a haven for ships, and his border shall be at Sidon. Zebulun, this is in Joshua chapter 19, verse 11. A brook from Zebulun's territory extends to the sea, fulfilling this blessing. The next brother is Issachar. Issachar sounds like the Hebrew word wages of hire. Issachar is a strong donkey, crouching between these sheepfolds. He saw that a resting place was good, and that the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant at forced labor. Issachar tribe was hardworking, tough, vigorous, and unfaulting, living up to this blessing. The next one is Dan. Dan sounds like the Hebrew words judge. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan should be a serpent in the wind, a viper by the path that bites the horse's heel, so that his riders fall backward. I wait for your salvation, O Lord. Dan's tribe indeed judged, but were not known for their moral standings nor religious righteousness. The next brother or patriarch is Gad. Gad sounds like the Hebrew word for good fortune. Receiving this blessing, raiders shall raid Gad, but he shall raid at their heels. The Gadites were known as mighty men of valor. Asher is the next patriarch, next son. Asher sounds like the Hebrew word raiders or raid. Blessing was Asher's food shall be rich, and he shall yield royal delicacies. Asher's families prospered in Egypt. The next one is Naphtali. Naphtali sounds like the Hebrew word wrestling. Jacob decrees Naphtali is a doe let loose that bears beautiful fawns. Naphtali's military skill was marked by deer-like speed and dexterity. The next one is Joseph. Joseph means may he add and sounds like the Hebrew takeaway. Received the lengthiest blessing from his father. Joseph was his favorite. Joseph is a fruitful bought by a spring. His branches run over the wall. The archers bitterly attack him, shot at him, and harassed him severely, yet his bow remained unmoved. His arms were made agile by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, by the power of your father who will help you, by the Almighty who will bless you with blessings of heaven above, blessings of deep that crouches beneath, blessings of the beast and of the womb. Blessings of your father are mighty beyond the blessings of my parents, up to the bounties of the everlasting hills. May they be on the head of Joseph and on the brow of him who was set apart from his brothers. No other son received such direct reference to our sovereign power, whom Joseph revered in all his ways. There is a history of cruelty by his brothers and captures and prophecy in this blessing. The last brother and the youngest brother is Benjamin. Benjamin's son of the right hand. Jacob had these words: Benjamin is a ravenous wolf in the morning, devouring the prey, and in the evening, dividing the spoil. Benjamin's small tribe was warlike, and they made a shameless defense of their evil in Gibeah, and was of the tribe of Benjamin, as was the apostle Paul. Saul was of the tribe of Benjamin. Also, the apostle Paul was of the tribe of Benjamin. So that concludes a little introductory to the Testament of the Patriarchs. So look forward to the next few videos being the testament of each one of these patriarchs, these brothers that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. So I hope this was a blessing to you today. It's kind of short, but I just wanted to be like an introductory. And may the Most High bless you